So you do Jimi Hendrix, and then you get the role for Paid in Full.
I think that was it. Either that or The Wire or...
I think, yeah, The Wire and Paid in Full was right around
Right
the same
around
time.
the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Paid in Full, yeah.
So
that
Paid in
was a great
Full.
experience.
So Paid in Full was an interesting one. Because at that point, you know, when I look at your filmography, Paid in Full was the biggest movie you were in terms of an iconic movie. You know,
Absolutely.
Above the Rim was dope, but when you look at Above the Rim versus Paid in Full, you ask kids today what they remember, everyone will say Paid in Full.
Above the Rim is also Tupac. It's gonna stick
So
around.
you
It's
got the
connected
Tupac,
to
but
him.
in terms of like the film itself,
Right.
I feel like Paid in Full was like almost like the new Scarface of that era.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny because they even reference
They
Scarface.
even reference it.
Yeah.
And it's ironic, but it's true.
So you start to put together Paid in Full. Do you have any idea what it's about to do when you're working on it?
No, you never really know with any of the pieces. You might have a gut feeling, but you don't really know it. And early on, you learn that these things are they grow slowly. Sometimes they take off and sometimes they don't. A film or a TV project. Like The Wire. It's the most famous thing now, but when it was out, it wasn't. So I never would think that it would come to be as it is now. But Paid in Full happened because I knew Makai already. Makai introduced me to the story and was like, yo, you'd be great at this. And he gave me what I needed to as a reference. So the Feds magazines and all those type of mags, at the time I used those as references on the story and the script. And then I met Azie in New York.
Azie Faison.
Yeah, Azie Faison, who is the person I portray as Ace.
As Ace, exactly.
Yeah, his real name is A-Z, A-Z-I-E, Faison.
Yep.
And I love them. I love all those cats. They mean a lot to me. You know, I ended up getting that role largely because when I met with him, it just sealed the deal. It just sealed the deal. And I thought to myself, I could be this guy. When I met him, I realized I could be like this guy. You know, and then it was all committed because as an artist, actor, especially, you just really have to commit. And if you fail, at least you committed to it and you weren't wavering on ideas. So when I got his story, it's such a rich New York story. But Damon Dash was involved with it.
Right.
And I think that at the time, you know, a lot of the conflicts to do with the film progress had to do in that world. And I wasn't privy to all the things. But I would just go on to say that I think that film may have been more critically successful if those conflicts wouldn't have been going on. I would say that there were production conflicts that Dame was having with Harvey Weinstein, and there was just issues like that.
Like, give me an example.
And they were poorly handled.
Like, give me an example.
At that time, I would say that Damon was way more bravado. We know Damon Dash, and so
I've dealt with Dame. Dame is a nightmare. So, I could relate to what you're talking about.
I don't like to throw people under, you know, nightmare.
I'll say
one
it.
night, next night, a
I've
beautiful
dealt with
dream.
Dame.
You never know, right?
Dame is a nightmare. I did a couple meetings. I was done.
Well, okay. So yeah, he could back then particularly. Now I believe he's humbled and good. You know.
Yeah, I can't even imagine him back then when he was on top of the world.
Oh,
Rockefeller was.
It was
Jay-Z
all
and
bad in the
everything.
sense where he just had too much control and power.
Okay.
Chuck or Charles Stone, who directed it, was had to deal with that. You know, Harvey Weinstein, they had to deal with the bravado of that personality. Me, I was immersed in the character. I wasn't really privy to how he was being. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't looking for Damon or Jay-Z or none of them. I just wanted to satisfy the role every day. And so was Makai, and Cameron had to, which Cameron, let me just say, Cameron in Paid in Full, I just watched Paid in Full the other night it was on. I hadn't seen it since then, too. I hadn't seen it since the premiere of it. Never saw it on TV, never watched it on my own. Till the other night it was on, I caught it midway. My goodness, I see why people love it so much. You know, I really do, I get it. And a lot of it has to do with Cameron. And yeah, me and Makai, but Cameron seals the deal, you know. it's a trifecta with him. He makes it a trifecta. A film will always be a classic, even more. It could even be bigger than Scarface in the sense that because nobody watch Scarface as much as they watch. You ain't hearing about Scarface as much. That's our generation. Scarface.
Right. I mean, because I could tell you, I don't know how many times we reported on somebody dying, and in the comments, almost every time someone say, dudes die every day, B. Like, like.
Yeah, I'm not prepared for some of the stuff. It's way beyond the scope of even my dreams. I'm living a life that I dreamed about, but the life is bigger than the dreams.
Right.
You understand at this point.
I interviewed Azie Faison. He said, now I guess even though it was his story, he kind of, once he sold the story and it started to go into production, he kind of lost control of.
That's how it goes.
Having a say, yeah.
That's how it goes. He would be rare if he didn't. He's a writer.
Yeah.
So they don't deal with writers after, on nothing. Unless they're a writer-producer, you're not going to have much to say.
He, in our interview, he said he had a problem with how he was portrayed wearing a wire at the end.
At the end of the film, why do you make it look like I was wearing a wire in Total on Outpour?
Which that never happened.
Never happened, bro. So here I present a film to them, Trapped, to try to save a generation. Like, wake up, man. Why do y'all destroy my character to the streets, that who I'm trying to talk to make it look like I was a snitch?
Oh, yeah.
Because he said that never happened.
Okay, I understand, he should have a problem with it because it's his story.
Yeah.
It's just that's just a convenient thing to do in a movie. It's just a technical, convenient way to wrap up the movie. That movie, he wrote a 300-page script. Okay, did he mention that? Azie has written, he's a prolific writer. 300 pages? He has a 300-page version of that has all the gory, literally the gory detail that could never be in a rated R movie. Yeah. So we had to pick and choose the elements of that story to really tell. And I'm proud of the film. I wish he was satisfied with every element of it, but yeah,
That's just how it goes. That's Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm sure Jimi Hendrix would come up and be like, yo, y'all messed up. Jimmy could come out the grave and say, yo, B.
I feel you.
He's like, I didn't walk like that.
Great film, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Paid in Full is definitely
Paid in Full.
one of my favorites, as well as most people's favorites.